To my colleagues, I want to thank you all for the trust that you have instilled in me to lead us in this historic and unprecedented moment that we're in. The challenge before us is great, but the time for action is now, and I will not let you down.
Louisiana's Mike Johnson made his first speech as Speaker of the House yesterday. He then said he's open to working with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, but said he's made it no secret that he wants to decentralize the power in the House and is a small government advocate. Every single Republican in the House voted for Congressman Johnson, giving him the 220 votes he needed to become the next Speaker after 3 failed attempts by Jim Jordan. Dr. Silas Lee, a political analyst with UNO, is joined where are you a political analyst, Silas?
Xavier University.
Xavier, I knew that.
Xavier.
We had Ed Chervenek on earlier, and he's UNO. But anyway, this was a pretty big deal. You know, and I think a lot of people were saying the reason that the moderates came across and were you know, willing to vote for someone with Congressman Johnson's voting record and support of Donald Trump and election denying, that they were just ready to get somebody up there who wasn't too controversial.
Well, they recognized the reality that this was taking a toll on the perceptions and the support of voters nationwide. Voters wanted the Congress to get back to work, and therefore, without the House in session, that damaged the credibility and the confidence of voters. That's the long-term impact we see. The less they see government responding to their needs, the less confidence we get from voters. And that is why you see a lot of disengagement, dissatisfaction reported in polls in reference to how voters feel about the government and how it functions.
And one of the things that Hakeem Jeffries said and some other Democrats said is he has a pretty good demeanor. He's willing to talk with the other side about a lot of issues, but he is diametrically opposed to many of the things that Democrats are totally in favor of.
Without a doubt, he is a hardline conservative. Keep in mind, Mike Johnson made his reputation as a cultural conservative, and he is not going to deviate from that. Another reality is that we must face, and naturally he must face too, there's a strong difference between being a congressperson and being Speaker of the House. And we do not realize all of the responsibilities of the Speaker of the House. We're familiar with setting the agenda, but the difficult task for Mike Johnson will be that of Speaker management. And I mean member management. You never hear a discussion about member management, but keep in mind, you have diverse members with priorities that he must manage, the coalitions that other members have and their relationships. He must also try to avoid failed votes on the floor, the Rules Committee. He is now the point person between the White House and the House of Representatives, and he must manage the building itself, their institutional responsibilities. Yeah. So this is going to be a steep learning curve for Speaker Johnson.
And because of his lack of experience and lack of leadership in the House, I mean, he will have to lean, especially on Steve Scalise. Steve Scalise has said that he'll do everything he can to support, because he can show him a lot of things that I mean, he can shorten that learning curve a bit.
Well, he can take some of the pressure and help navigate the floor as well as the legislation of many of the members. He does not want to be perceived as someone who could not handle the job. And one of the first priorities will be that of keeping the government open. When we reflect on it for a few seconds, what got McCarthy fired? His ability to negotiate and deal with Democrats. So we must also look at this reality of eliminating this one and done rule, whereby one person will bring up a vote whereby they can remove you from the speakership.
Well, actually, that's still in place, and so you know that still could happen. But Speaker Johnson will have to work with the Democrats, because we're getting ready for another possible shutdown coming up mid-November. The proposal that President Biden has offered for aid to both Israel and Ukraine, he has not been a big fan of sending more money to Ukraine. So, I mean, there are going to be some tough issues to resolve.
there will be some tough issues, and that's the difference between being a member and now also becoming the Speaker of the House. You are now the point person between House of Representatives and the White House. Also, he has to remember the fact that as that point person, he will have to navigate other issues that have similar terrain in reference to the emotions and partisanship in the House of Representatives and in Congress: domestic violence, gun control, climate control, to name a few.
And considering you know, how long it took to get a new speaker, 3 weeks, it was a long time. Even Republicans were saying this is a clown show. How much damage was done to the party because of this?
Enough was done in terms of trying to quantify the damage. Every day it went on, they lost support, and then also inflicted harm and negative perceptions in reference to how people perceive government overall, locally, nationally, as well as statewide. So they could not afford to let this linger any longer. With a speaker in place, now they can get back to governing. However, the danger of partisanship. We must navigate a very fragile political environment. This is the most toxic political environment I've seen in 40 years. And therefore, he must navigate that to avoid further disruptions in the functions of Congress.
And quickly, in about 10 seconds, how important is a speaker from Louisiana to Louisiana?
It's very important in the sense that think of his power and the position that he is in. Other Congress members will come to him for support. Naturally, he is in a very strong position to negotiate in the interest of the state to enhance resources as well as promote issues that he supports as well as the party. So it's a quid pro quo relationship that we have to remember too. The support and the power of the speaker ebbs and flows over time. We've seen very strong speakers, and we've seen speakers who were not as strong and effective.
And a lot of people are saying he likely will be the latter. Silas, thank you very much. I appreciate all your thoughts on this.